it. What does it mean? You remember I like you to sing very, very loud. Hello guys, welcome to our first class in this modality. Let's start agreeing the way that we're going to be working in this way. So first of all, you will have to take notes from every single lesson, and we will be also working on your student's book and in your workbook. So let's start our Unit 8. As I told you before, I need you to paste your cover for the Unit 8. It is already in the platform. So if you haven't done it, go ahead, print it and paste it. Meanwhile, let me read the objectives that we have to reach in this unit. Alright? So first of all, you will be able to understand spoken and written text about charity and conservation programs. You will be able to use reported speech to discuss the role of celebrities in raising awareness of global issues. And also you will be able to use expression with self to discuss the pros and cons of taking selfies. You will understand how to network effectively, compare and contrast photos, and write a report about volunteering. Okay, so as I told you, your final product from this unit will be to write a report about volunteering. Let's start the class and let's open our book on page 82. We're going to start the Unit 8 as I told you, and so let's start getting familiar with some vocabulary. This vocabulary is about offering assessment, okay? So we have 6 in the exercise 1A, we have 6 pairs of words. Maybe they could be related to each other, one to each other, but you will have to search for the meaning for each word, okay? So we will be sure when we have to use each of them. Our first pair is voluntary versus vocational. You can see this exercise also in your page 82, so I'm just repeating them. Donation versus contribution. Beneficial versus profitable. Merit versus incentive. Empathy versus sympathy. Protests versus campaign. Okay? So I need you to search for the meaning of each word, and you will have to add the meaning into your vocabulary section in your notebook, alright? And now that we know the meaning of all of our words, we will have to use them. And we will be careful because sometimes they're confused as you already noticed. So let's answer exercises 1B and 1C in our page 82. Do it, and then I will display the screen with the answers for each exercise. Well, you will have to tick yourself if you're correct or correct them if you got a little bit confused. I hope you found easy the use of these words. Well, guys, I have another word for you, and it is very related to the topic, and it is help. For this, you will have to copy this in your notebook, and then you will have to complete with synonyms for help, alright? Well, it's time for us to read, but first of all, let's read the tip that we can find in our book, Exam Success. And it says you are going to do a reading activity where there are paragraphs missing from a text. In this type of activity, underline examples of referencing in the removed paragraphs. Example: it, this, those, and synonyms for words in the main text. If you may need more information about how to complete these kind of exercises, you can go to page 129 and read a little bit more. I'm going to play the audio, and so please read along to the Charity Matters, that's our text, and then we're going to do some activities with it.
Unit 8. Reading. Gapped text. Charity Matters.
Are our acts of kindness as straightforward as they seem? It's a bitterly cold morning as you set off to meet your friend, and the coins in your pocket are sufficient for a hot chocolate. As you turn the corner with a cafe in sight, you spot a very thin young boy shivering in a torn and dirty t-shirt. Would you avert your eyes and rush past? Or might you act in a more altruistic way, despite the fact that this child is unknown to you, and buy the hot drink for him instead? In his defense, the other person said he was stressed out and was dealing with personal issues, but my friend knew their tutor had warned him not to let personal problems impede his academic goals. Eventually, her altruistic traits won through, and she told him he could take the credit as well as her, but that he would have to hurry up and sort his life out. Although similar dilemmas have existed since time immemorial, the term altruism was coined by Auguste Comte, the French philosopher and father of sociology, in 1851. He defined it as intentional action, ultimately for the welfare of others, that entails at least the possibility of either no benefit or a loss to the actor.
Displays of niceness have an underlying selfish motive, according to this school of thought. For example, in the second scenario above, it may be a case of, you scratch my back, then I scratch yours. And by donating a drink to the child, are you just stroking your own ego? While these arguments are nothing new, with the dawn of the digital age, the controversy has grown. But let's start with a belief that is rarely contested. Many people claim that modern technology has made the world a smaller place and has eliminated international borders.
Although some will respond to these in weary resignation, others, refusing to feel powerless, will want to take action. But which action? I was recently introduced to a man who had once jumped on a plane to help out in a region severely affected by flooding. We'll call him John. He said he had been deeply moved by the people's plight and had wanted to do something proactive. However, he was soon brought down to earth, realizing that in a disaster zone, he was a useless bystander. As we talked, he confessed that he lacked any specialist training or skills, but this had only occurred to him in hindsight. His heart had been in the right place, but he had ended up eating food that could have been handed out to local people and requiring medical attention from doctors that were already overwhelmed.
online campaigning appears to offer an alternative approach. It's easy to believe you can be a catalyst for change without looking up from your laptop. In the digital age, we can watch videos of our favourite celebrities protesting against injustice, click on like to endorse a worthy cause, tweet 140 characters about a humanitarian crisis, and generate viral slogans from hashtags. But what does this accomplish? According to relief agencies, there is plenty of goodwill, but a dearth of donations, possibly a result of charity fatigue. Indeed, it was estimated that donations fell by 20% last year. Then the concern that your money won't end up in the right place is also a deterrent. Just as the motives for altruism can sometimes be questionable, you can also be rendered powerless by questions about how best to show it.
Well, it's time for us to answer exercise 2 on page 82. In this case, you will need to choose only one. We have 3 options, and you will have to choose the one that explains better the point that the author is making on the text. Alright? Please answer it right now because I'm going to display the answer. As you already noticed, this unit is about charity, about offering assistance, about acts of kindness. But here, the key exercise is the exercise 3 because it is like one of the multiple exercises that are in the Cambridge evaluation. So let's read carefully. As you can see, you have 6 numbers and 7 letters. That means that one of the letters is extra. So you will have to read carefully and decide which letter fits better to each number. Okay? So do it, and I'm going to display the answers on your screen. How did you do it? I hope you got all your answers correct. Well guys, for the activity 4, the only thing that you will have to do is to underline or to highlight, doesn't matter, like information in the article that shows evidence where the author is for or against people traveling to volunteer. Also, when the author discusses the value of people going to another country to volunteer, and what are they basing their argument on, and what would make their argument more valid. Okay, just for this, underline, and that's it. I don't know if you noticed, but in our text, we have some words that are underlined in red. And in exercise 5, we have some definitions. And each definition belongs to each underlined word. So we just need to find which word means each of the 10 definitions on page 82. Okay, I'm going to display the answers also so you can check yourself.
Yeah, they hoping on me.
I'm Jake. No relation.
I've been feeling like there is another me. Not a clone, but possibly a brother of me.
Well, it's time for our speaking activity. It is our activity number 6 in our page 82. We have 2 questions there. So you will have to record yourself explaining your answers for these questions. Also, you need to justify your answers and let me know if you already have made a charity, and also if you would like to travel to another country or maybe here in Mexico to volunteer on something, okay? Well, I need also evidences of your notebook on the vocabulary because you already have to show me that you have the meaning for all of our pairs of words. And I need a picture of your book to check that it is complete, okay? It must be correct because I displayed the answers, so there's no reason for you to have a mistake, okay? Well, guys, also for homework, I need you to complete your workbook pages 66 and 67. This is an activity like this that we made today, all right? Well, see you on another class, and thanks for your attention.